Hi, caterpillars. Hey, so I'm here in my backyard, and yesterday I decided that there's just a little bit of land over here, and I realized that I could make that a garden too if I put some extra work into it. So I started digging out all the weeds that were in there. There are a lot of weeds in there. And I realized that some of the plants that were growing there were actually something that has a root that's actually a food that you can eat. It's edible. Do you see this? This is a plant. It's called, oh, excuse me. It's called burdock. I pulled it away and I smelled it and I realized that inside has this root in it and you can use it. You can eat it. I used to cook with this all the time, and you can chop it up and make a salad out of it. You can also dry it and make tea. So I'm really excited. While I took those plants out, I don't want them to grow anymore because they're really difficult to take care of. I dug down deep and I pulled out the roots there, and I'm going to try to make tea out of them. So I wanted to share that with you. And also, on the subject, I wanted to read this book that I know that a lot of you know and love. It's called Up in the Garden and Down in the Dirt, and it's by Kate Messner with art by Christopher Silas Neal. Here inside, in this front page, there's a bunch of drawings of plants. Which of these are you growing in your garden? Which of these do you like? I have carrots, basil, tomato, pumpkin, fennel. I noticed I have this growing wild in my front yard. Thyme, rosemary, pepper, zucchini, blueberry, that's my favorite, sage, potatoes, beets, cucumber, green beans, corn, and Swiss chard. Swiss chard, that's a vegetable that Michelle was saying that she had growing in her garden. It's also a vegetable that I learned might grow really well in this patch of dirt that I have here because it does not need a lot of sunlight, and I don't get much sunlight back here. Up in the garden and down in the dirt. Up in the garden, I stand and plan, my hands full of seeds and my head full of dreams. I have a lot of dreams about what my garden will be like. These are raised beds. Some of you have these raised beds in your gardens that I've seen. I might build some too, because when you have raised beds, it helps keep weeds out, and you can put all healthy soil in there and compost. Spring shines down to melt the sleepy snow. Wind whistles through last year's plants, and mud sucks at my rain boots. When mud sucks at your rain boots, what does that sound like? It's not quite time, Nana says. Down in the dirt, things need to dry out and warm up. What's down there, I ask. Oof. Down in the dirt is a whole busy world of earthworms and insects digging and building and stirring up soil. They're already working down in the dirt. Friends, when I was digging yesterday, I saw some creatures in there. I saw some beetles, and I definitely saw a lot of this insect here. Centipedes. Do you want to count with me how many centipedes there are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and this giant one here, that's a centipede also. They have lots and lots of legs. Also, I found one of these yesterday, and I put a picture of it on the Instagram. That's a caterpillar. You are also caterpillars. Also, here's a snail. I understand that Justine has our snails at her home right now. I hope they're doing well. Up in the garden, we snap brittle stalks, scoop rusty armfuls, and wheel away weeds for the chickens, while they squabble and scratch and spread compost over the wet soil. Down in the dirt, pillbugs chew through last year's leaves. I give a gentle poke. They roll up tight and hide in plated suits of armor, roly-poly round. Up in the garden, it's time to plant. I trail a furrow with my finger and sprinkle seeds in a careful row. Give them a drink, Nana says. We pat them down to snuggle in the dark. Friends, how many of you call your grandmother Nana? I called one of my grandmothers Nana. Down in the dirt, a tomato hornworm rests, waiting for wings, and the leaves where she'll lay her eggs. Up in the garden, carrot plants sprout, pea blossoms bloom, wasps are on the prowl, and honeybees visit, legs loaded with pollen. Yesterday, when I was working in the garden, I noticed that there was a honeybee that landed on me. My friend that was with me told me that when it landed on me, it looked like it was so tired because it was carrying so much pollen, and it looked like it couldn't go on any further without a little rest. I felt like I had to be brave in order to let that bee rest on me for a moment. And then my friend helped me with a leaf to set them away again. I weed and wilt in song and sun so strong, even Nana looks for shade. Down in the dirt, earthworms tunnel deep. I'm jealous of their cool, damp, dark. Up in the garden, rain shower. Nana turns the hose on me. E. Here's the letter E. Here's a big letter E. And 1, 2, 3, 4 little E's. This is the sign for the letter E. Can you do it? I hide behind the cucumber vines, but their leaves can't save me. I shiver and laugh, drenched in Nana's rain. Down in the dirt, water soaks deep. Roots drink it in, and a long-legged spider stilt walks over the streams. Up in the garden, there's so much to eat. Ladybugs feast on aphids. Nana crunches green beans. I bite a ripe tomato, warm from the sun. Juice dribbles down my chin. Ladybugs help us by eating the aphids off of our plants. Aphids might actually really hurt our plants sometimes. Down in the dirt, a robin's beak finds a cricket, a beetle, a grub. Slugs are scrumptious too. Up in the garden, we pick cukes and zucchini, harvesting into the dark. Bats swoop through the sunflowers, and I pluck June bugs from the basil until it's time for bed. Down in the dirt, skunks work the night shift. They snuffle and dig and gobble cutworms while I sleep. Up in the garden, a praying mantis wakes to hunt mosquitoes. Nana sprays away the aphids, and I'm after grasshoppers, ready to swoosh, but what do you think happened? Snap! Someone else is faster. Down in the dirt, a smooth, shining garter snake crunches on supper. Up in the garden, the wind grows cool. Pumpkins blush orange and sunflowers bow to September. Nana ties them together to build a house for reading. That looks like a really sweet, cozy corner for reading. I've seen a lot of your cozy corners at home. What would it be like to have one made out of sunflowers? Down in the dirt, an orb weaver spins her web, strand by silken strand. She'll munch on moths tonight. We have lots of orb weavers where we live here in Portland. I told you that I had a spider in my house. It was an orb weaver. I think she was pretty beautiful when I looked close at it. Up in the garden, colored leaves litter the squash vines, and we know the cold is coming. Hurry, hurry, and harvest. There's enough for the neighbors, too. Those are helpers, growing food to share with the people in your neighborhood. Up in the garden, frost draws lace on leftover leaves where secret egg sacs hang, waiting for the warm to return. We say goodbye and spread the winter blankets. Down in the dirt, beetles burrow, ants scurry home, earthworms curl tight in the dark. When Grandpa calls us in for soup, an autumn moon is rising. Up in the garden, dry corn stalks tremble and the wind smells like winter, but the long, ripe days of summer still rest in the garden beds. The ladybugs and bumblebees, earthworms and ants are hunkered down, hiding and biding their time. I feel like we are biding our time right now, but we're working really hard on things because it's springtime. We're biding our time before we all join back together to go to school and to study again. But we're doing our studying here at home too. Dreaming of sunshine and blossoms and sprouts under the bare arms of trees and the blanketing snow, a whole new garden sleeps down in the dirt. Friends, there's a note at the back of this book, and I want to read it to you. Every garden is a community garden. Do you know why? You may work hard planting seeds and pulling weeds, but plants can't thrive without the help of all those smaller gardeners down in the dirt. Some help by controlling pests that would like to gobble up your broccoli and tomatoes before you have had a chance to eat them yourself. Some help by creating tunnels which bring air into the soil and let water drain more easily. And believe it or not, some help just by going to the bathroom right there next to the green beans. This adds important nutrients to the soil. A healthy garden isn't a garden without bugs. It's packed with lots and lots of living things, all working together with the human gardeners to nurture healthy plants. Friends, thank you for listening, and thank you for looking at the beginning of my new garden. I'm so excited about what is going to happen up in the garden, and I'm so excited about what I found down in the dirt. Thank you very much, friends. See you next time.